umaga ha atong natanan. I am Daniel, your host for this academic year's General Orientation for New Students. Dayón, hayupi Tacloban. Before we start with the program, may I request all participants to keep your microphones on mute or turned off throughout the event.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Philippine National Anthem.
Sa paglayang pinamahal, ang isa't ng mataw at mo'y tagumpay na nagdidinig. Ang ituwing na araw niya kailan pa may magdidinig. Lupa ng araw ng walang ipagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may makaapi, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
To formally start today's virtual orientation and to share her inspirational message to all, please help me welcome the Dean of the University of the Philippines, Visayas, Tacloban College, Dean Patricia B. Arinto.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, Dean.
Okay. Good morning to our students, especially, but also
Good morning, Dean.
our faculty and staff, who are here with us. We are practically in full force to welcome you, our first-year students, to the University of the Philippines, Visayas College, Tacloban College. No, as I was thinking about what to say this morning, I was recently I found a photo of myself as a 16-year-old just before entering college, and I thought, oh no, I can't recognize this girl anymore. I was trying to think, how did I feel, at around this time when the school year was about to begin, and then how did I feel on the first day of class, on the opening of the school year, which is practically today, or to be official about it, on Monday. So today is the eve of our first day of the academic year. And I really can't remember, sorry. But I guess part of it would be, the reason that I can't remember is, of course, we have been very, what is that in Waray? Aligaga in Tagalog. Preparing for today, to be able to meet you and welcome you. So I hope you at least are feeling happy and relaxed and expectant, full of expectant hope for the year ahead. Last year, when we had a similar exercise, for our first-year students last year in 2020, we thought that that would be the only time when we would have to welcome new students virtually. No, we thought that the pandemic by this time would be gone, and everyone would be back on campus. Unfortunately, as we all know, that has not happened. And there is great uncertainty about when we would actually be able to come together here, on the college grounds. But my message today has to do with that, and the fact that also we in the, we, the faculty and the administrators of the entire University of the Philippines system have been thinking about, how to be able to ease things for you and how to help you, cope with the challenges that we are all facing, and not just really to cope, but to thrive. We have been worried about the fact that while this pandemic has taken its toll on all of us, we feel a particular concern for you, our young people. Last year, the message, the theme, okay, the core value, if you like, that we were talking about in the university was the value of compassion, okay, to be compassionate to our students. This year, we have been talking about a shift, okay, from compassion to grit. Okay, Grit, grit. Okay, now when we say that, we do not mean, of course, that we will no longer be compassionate. It really means that understanding what it means to be truly compassionate to you and to other young people and to other people generally, we really ought to be thinking about how to cultivate grit among you, no? So what is grit, diba? Grit is fortitude. Okay, it is the ability to survive hardship or difficulties and to thrive, not just to survive, but to thrive or flourish. Okay, it is staying power, the ability to abide and not lose yourself, okay, amidst the vicissitudes of life. Okay, it is the ability to overcome, to rise above, and to grow and to bloom wherever you are planted. That is grit. Okay. But the question, of course, is how are we supposed to develop grit? Now, when the university says that it will shift from just being compassionate to cultivating grit among our students, what do we mean and how will we do it? So I was thinking about this and I thought, why don't we use the word itself, the word grit, to derive the formula or the algorithm, as we would say, as the computer scientists would say. Okay, so there are only 4 letters to the word. Okay, so first is the letter G for gratitude, grace, and gentleness. Cultivate an attitude of gratefulness. Even in the most trying times, there is always something to be thankful for and to appreciate. No, for example, I'm sure our internet connections are not exactly the most ideal. Okay, but think about how, despite your connection being unstable, at least you are not entirely without a connection and entirely disconnected or unmoored. Or you will find as the semester progresses that remote learning sometimes sucks. But at least you are not entirely out of school, diba? And without the means to study, okay? Or everyday life may be filled with struggle, okay? For some of us, the struggle can be really, really overwhelming sometimes, no? But at least you still have the will to fight and not give in. Even when you're feeling awful or miserable, you could try and appreciate the fact that you are still feeling something, that you are not entirely numbed, diba? And lifeless. Okay, so that is the spirit of gratitude and grace that we would like to underscore. No, and out of that should really come the spirit of gentleness. When life is difficult, let us, stop and try to be as gentle as possible with ourselves, no, and with other people. Take it one step at a time. It will get better. Okay. Now that's G. Now what is R? R is for resilience and renewal. To be resilient is to have the ability to cope, to adapt and be flexible, like the bamboo, to face challenges and overcome them, and to rise and renew yourself, be renewed, have a sense of renewal for the greater challenges ahead. That is R. I is for integrity, which means to do both small and big things with honor and fairness at all times. This includes being honest about what you know and what you don't know, not cutting corners and taking the easy way out, not relying on others for answers and being dependent and parasitical, but taking responsibility and being accountable for what you do and what you don't do. It also means dealing with others fairly and with a sense of what is just, true, and right. That is I, integrity. And finally, T for tenacity, which means determination and persistence. In other words, do not be wishy-washy and weak-willed or spineless, but instead be resolute, be courageous, and be strong in mind, body, and spirit. So this is our welcome message to you, our dear first-year students, as you commence your life as UP students. Cultivate grit, gratitude and gracefulness, resilience, integrity, and tenacity. Note that is also what the UP motto of honor and excellence means. We have talked about honor, which comes before excellence always. You must remember that. It is not an accident that the UP motto is honor and excellence, not excellence and honor. Okay, the sequence is very important. In fact, as far as UP is concerned, you cannot be excellent without honor. Other people can be that, but UP students cannot be excellent without honor. Because in the University of the Philippines, our country's premier university, our definition of excellence goes beyond acing exams and earning high grades to mean doing everything honorably and well. It means excellence of character as befits would-be and real leaders of our communities, of our country, and of our people. So, padayon kita, mga bag-o nga student at UP Tacloban, remember to cultivate grit, okay, and what grit means. And remember that you are now members of the University of the Philippines community, and that is a badge of honor. Thank you and welcome to all of you.
Thank you, Dean Pat. I do hope that all our students will be able to cultivate and develop grit more so during this time of learning. Now, to give us a brief history of UPVTC, may I call on the Associate Dean, Professor Arvin De Vera.
Thank you very much, Sir Danby. Dean Pat Arinto, the faculty members of the college, all unit heads, all support admin personnel who are present, and special mention, of course, to our incoming first-year students. Good morning. My task is to present briefly the history of the college, and then the vision, mission, and then a quick look at the organizational structure of the college. So once again, I'd like to say welcome to our freshies. Welcome to the University of the Philippines, Visayas, Tacloban College. Our college was established on May 23, 1973. It was on this day when the UP Board of Regents, in their 833rd meeting, granted the authority to then UP President Salvador P. Lopez to open a branch, a UP branch in Tacloban City. Now, we started our first SEM as a UP unit in June 1973 with 141 undergraduate enrollees. The following month, the college was inaugurated, and our date of inauguration is July 2, 1973. The event was actually held in front of the Leyte Provincial Capitol. And if in case you still don't know, there is a marker wherein you can find a dedication plaque marking the day of the inauguration of the University of the Philippines, Tacloban. And this is the said marker. Now, you can find this in front of the Leyte Provincial Capitol. The initial campus site was at the back of the Leyte Provincial Capitol. So we were given space behind the Leyte Provincial Capitol. And then you can see here also that initially we were referred to as the University of the Philippines at Tacloban. Now what you see here is an image of the original Capitol site. Here you would see the original building wherein we had the classrooms, the college secretary's office, the dean's office, the AV hall, the library, and then an additional wing was actually constructed towards the northern part, and a student center was later constructed. Now, this was the original site at the back of the Leyte Provincial Capitol. Now, the provincial government also allowed us to use the Capitol's Justice Building. So classes were also held in this building during the initial years of UP Visayas Tacloban College. And towards the late 70s and then early 80s, we started using the Bagong Lipunan campus. Now this is the UP Tacloban campus in front of the Leyte Park Hotel. Now, towards the end of the 70s and also early 80s, we were also being referred to, as you would see in this picture, as the University of the Philippines College Tacloban, or UP City. Now, on March 23, 1983, as approved by the Board of Regents, then UP President Edgardo Angara issued Executive Order Number 4. Now, this EO transformed the university into the so-called system of autonomous units. Now, a provision under that executive order provided that UP College Tacloban, together with UP College Cebu, will be part of UP Visayas. Now, our college, UP College Tacloban, was actually placed under the administrative supervision of UP Visayas starting January 1 of 1986. At around this time, we were now being referred to as UP Tacloban College, or UP-TC, and then later on it became UP in the Visayas Tacloban College, and then finally, that's what we have now. We're being referred to as UP Visayas Tacloban College, or UPV-TC. By around 1990 or 1991, we started using our Arts and Sciences campus, and this is the UP Tacloban campus in front of the UP Botanical Garden. And then in 1992, we had our oblation set up in the Arts and Sciences campus. Now, we are part of the University of the Philippines system. As a system, the UP system has constituent universities. So we have UP Diliman, UP Los Baños, UP Manila, the UP Open University, UP Mindanao, UP Baguio, and the latest unit to be transformed into a CU, we have UP Cebu. And we are under UP Visayas. The highest policy-making body of the UP system is the UP Board of Regents. The chair of the UP Board of Regents is the chairperson of the Commission on Higher Education, and sitting as co-chairperson is the UP President. Our current UP President is Attorney Danilo L. Concepcion. As I have mentioned a while ago, we are under the University of the Philippines, Visayas. Now, each CU is being headed by its chancellor. So UP Visayas as a constituent university is headed by our chancellor, Dr. Clement C. Campuzano. And each constituent university is composed of colleges. For UP Visayas, we have the following colleges. We have the College of Arts and Sciences, or CAS, which is based in Miagao, Iloilo. We have the College of Fisheries and Ocean Sciences, or CFOS, which is also based in Miagao. We have the College of Management, which is based in Iloilo City. And then we have the School of Technology, also based in Miagao, Iloilo. And that's us. We are the Tacloban College, or UP Visayas Tacloban College, or UPVTC. So officially, currently, we are UP Visayas Tacloban College. But we're hoping and praying and we're working hard that we be elevated to become a constituent university, an autonomous college, hopefully initially, and then we will be referred to later on as the University of the Philippines, Tacloban. Now, currently, UP Visayas Tacloban College is headed by Dr. Patricia B. Arinto. Our vision is to be a globally recognized center of academic excellence, producing humane and socially responsive leaders serving for the development of Eastern Visayas and the country. Our mission statements, the first one is pursuant to our teaching mandate to produce graduates who are leaders in the natural and social sciences, humanities, management, and information technology. The second one is pursuant to our mandate to do research, to generate knowledge and innovations through disciplinary, interdisciplinary, and integrative research. The third one is pursuant to our public service mandate to provide programs and venues of engagement for various stakeholders in response to national and international social issues. The third one is pursuant to our mandate to promote culture and heritage. And then the last one is pursuant to our mandate to take care of our environment. Our core values are the following: service, excellence, integrity, nationalism, environmental stewardship, and resilience. Now, the college, UP Visayas Tacloban College, is composed of four academic divisions, or has four academic divisions. So we have the Division of Humanities, or DH, and if you're taking up communication arts, then you are in the DH division. And if you're taking up BS Management or BS Accountancy, you're in the Division of Management, or DM. If you're taking up BS Biology or BS Computer Science, you are in the Division of Natural Sciences and Math, or DNSM. And you will be in the Division of Social Sciences, or DSS, if you're taking up BA Psychology, BA Economics, and BASS Political Science. Now, we also have our academic support and student services units. As you would see here, we have our Office of the College Secretary, our Office of Student Affairs, our College Library, Teaching, Learning, and Resource Center, our Office of the Systems Administrator, and we have our Health Services Unit. Their respective unit heads will be introduced to you in a short while. Additionally, we have our so-called research and public service units. So we have the Leyte Samar Heritage Center, the Regional Environmental Information System. We have our Ugnayan ng Pahinungod Office, the Office of Continuing Education, and then the Office of Alumni Relations. We also have our special programs. We have, of course, our National Service Training Program, or NSTP, our Gender and Development Program, our Office of Anti-Sexual Harassment, and then the Sentro ng Wikang Filipino. And of course, we have our administrative support units. So we have our Administrative Services Office, the Budget Office, Accounting Office, Cash Office, our Personal Services Office, our Supply and Property Services Office, our Campus Development and Maintenance Office, and our Security Services Office. Again, the unit heads will be introduced to all of you in a short while. So I think that's it. Once again, I'd like to say welcome to all of you. Dayon Kamo to the University of the Visayas, Tacloban College. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So I hope all our students have already an idea of the history of UPVTC. Now, at this point, may I introduce the officials of the college, starting from our Dean, Professor Patricia B. Arinto, Associate Dean, Assistant Professor Arvin De Vera, and from here on forward, please turn on your cameras and give a short warm greeting to our first year students, starting off from our college secretary, Assistant Professor Irma Artan.
Hello, good morning to everyone, to my colleagues here at UPVTC, and of course, to our first year students. On behalf of everyone here at the Office of the College Secretary, or what you call OCS, I would like to warmly welcome all of you. You just don't know that we are all very excited every time you confirmed, every time you sent your entrance credentials. So we wish you all the best and good day, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have the division chairs, starting from the Division of Humanities, Assistant Professor Jessa Amarillo.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, Dean. Good morning to my colleagues and to our students. Welcome to UP Tacloban. Welcome to the academic year 2021 to 2022. We look forward to meeting, especially the BA Communication Arts students later in our division orientation. Again, welcome and good morning. Thank you.
From the Division of Management, Associate Professor Virgildo Sabalo.
Hello, good morning, everyone, especially to BSM and BS Management and BS Accountancy students. Congratulations for passing the UPCAT and Dayón kita sa UPV Tacloban College. See you this afternoon.
From the Division of Natural Sciences and Mathematics, Associate Professor Yolito Casas Jr.
Hello, colleagues and first-year students. Good morning and welcome to UPV Tacloban College. For the BS Biology, BS Com-Sci, and MS Environmental Science students, see you all this afternoon for the DNSM orientation. Salamat.
From the Division of Social Sciences, Assistant Professor Ruth Edisel-Ryle Sadjan Cercado.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I am very glad to see all of you here today. You may not be enrolled in one of our 3 programs like psychology, pol-sci, and economics, but it does not mean that we will not see each other. You will be enrolling in our GE courses and other service courses like sociology. I look forward to seeing all of you on campus when face-to-face classes return.
Now, may I call on the head and coordinators of the different offices in the college, starting from the coordinator of the Office of Student Affairs, Associate Professor Ervina Espina.
Upay nga aga haton nga tanan, especially ang mga first-year students. On behalf of the Office of Student Affairs, we welcome you all. And excited kami nga maka-istorya kamo, no? Mag-communicate kamo haamon. So, dayon kamo, ngan padayon kita. Salamat.
The coordinator of Teaching and Learning Resource Center, Assistant Professor Annie Lynn Oliveros Yusong.
Hello, first years. Good morning. The UP Tacloban Teaching and Learning Resource Center joins the UP community in welcoming you to the University of the Philippines. I also would like to congratulate you for completing RL 101 and for the Bridgers for actively participating in the Bridge program. Again, welcome to the University of the Philippines and welcome to UP Tacloban.
The Systems Administrator, Assistant Professor John Ultra.
Hello, good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Office of the Systems Administrator, I warmly welcome all the new students of UP Tacloban. Congratulations, everyone, and see you all if pwede na.
The head of the college library, Miss Florabel Fumar Banyares.
Hi, good morning, everyone. On behalf of the UP system-wide libraries, particularly of UPVTC Library, I welcome you all to the UP community. We are here to support you in your academic endeavors through our online resources and online services starting this academic year. You will come to know more about this later that will be presented by my colleague, Ms. Mels. And again, welcome and good morning.
The head of the Health Services Unit, Dr. Marvin Jed Soledad.
Good morning, Dean, colleagues, and of course, the incoming first-year students. We at the Health Services Unit are geared and ready to assist you with your healthcare needs. So keep safe, stay healthy, and welcome to UP Tacloban.
Administrator of the Regional Environmental Information Systems Laboratory, Assistant Professor Victor Romero II.
Hello, good morning, everyone. So on behalf of the Regional Environmental Information Systems, we would like to welcome the first-year students to the University of the Philippines, Visayas Tacloban College. So the REIS is the GIS laboratory of the college, so that eventually, when you reach your fourth year or graduating years, you might need our services to better characterize your study areas. Now, I would like to add something, personal note to first-year students. Kasi like what was mentioned by Ma'am Pat earlier, previously we were concerned about compassion, and then really right now we would like to develop grit. Kasi in as much as we would like to go back to how things were before when we can meet face to face, the fact of the matter is that's really not just the case. Ganun talaga yung mangyayari. And I would like to highlight this point because I think this is the challenge that is brought to your batch, because hindi lang naman ito yung pandemic na darating. And remember that when you graduate, there is no such thing as a consideration for pandemic when you apply for jobs. Okay? Your jobs, the jobs that you're aspiring to have will require you specific competencies, and at least for now we don't see companies having special trainings before they hire students, and I don't think they have the resources to even do that. So I hope na yung mga batch yung mga students ng batch na to and yung susunod na batches will really take on this challenge, because this is the future for us. And yun, thank you and good morning.
The faculty in charge of the Office of Continuing Education, Assistant Professor Mars Edwinson Briones.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. The Office of Continuing Education welcomes you to this academic year. Mandated to serve as the extension and public service arm of UP Tacloban, the office provides and coordinates the college's public service activities. Maupay nga pagdayon ha UP Tacloban.
The coordinator of the Office of Alumni Relations, Assistant Professor Popo Amascual.
Oh my God. Hello, Freshies. Good morning. So in 4 or 5 years, you will be members of the UP Tacloban alumni community. For now, Dayon Kamo UP Tacloban, Dayon Kamo VLE.
The coordinator of the Ugnayan ng Pahinungod, Assistant Professor Raquel Tabornal.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, colleagues, especially to our dear first-year students. Welcome to UP Tacloban. Ugnayan ng Pahinungod is the volunteer service program of the University of the Philippines. Now, once again, welcome to UP Tacloban and enjoy your journey in this university.
The coordinator of the Gender and Development Program, Assistant Professor Anida Bernadette Lorenzo.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I am popularly called Ma'am Birdie. So I am your coordinator for GDP for GDP, and welcome. For any concerns, just come and or contact us anytime. So thank you and again welcome.
The Supervising Administrative Officer, Mr. Telesforo Sales.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, Dean. Good morning to my dear co-workers in UP Tacloban, and also welcome to our first year students. So we actually manage the entire basic support to the operations, and we are always here. We will always be here to support you on all your needs, and I hope you will enjoy your stay with the UP Tacloban. Thank you.
The Head of the Cash Office, Miss Catherine Moreno.
Good morning, Freshies. Welcome to UPV Tacloban College. From the name itself of the office, we are the richest office in the college because we are the guardians of your stipends and allowances. Of course, we also receive your payments. But on a serious note, we are saddened when we receive emails that you are filing for LOA or you are paying for your INCs. I hope that would not happen frequently in your 4-year or 5-year stay in the college. We are rejoicing with you when you pay or send your payments for your alumni fees and graduation fees and the likes. So just in case if you don't have the resources or the money to pay for your accountabilities, we don't have the hard rules to not accept your promissory note. You can just coordinate with the coordinators of the office where you have the accountability. Just send us an email. Thank you and welcome.
The Head of the Accounting Office, Miss Karen Reyes.
Good morning, dear first-year students. In behalf of the Accounting Office, I am proud and glad to welcome you all here in UP Tacloban. Brace yourselves of the new challenges brought about by this pandemic, and I know you are prepared. So good luck and make wonderful memories here in UP. Again, welcome and have a fantastic school year. Thank you.
The Head of the Personal Services Office, Miss Maria Vivian Montes.
Good morning, everyone. Dean, good morning. And also to all students who are here, especially for the freshies. We welcome you, the Personal Services Office, in behalf of the Personal Services Office. We welcome po ka mga tanan, Diniha College, especially in mga first year. Congratulations for hurdling the UPCAT and being now part of the UP campus community. Welcome again to the Isko and Iska ng Bayan. Dayon kamo ha UP Tacloban College. Good morning.
The Head of the Security Services Office, Mr. Mario Martinez.
Good morning, Dean. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of our unit, we gladly welcome you all first-year students to UPB Tacloban College. We are in charge of your security while you are here at the campus. Stay safe, Dayón.
Thank you. And finally, we would like to acknowledge the rest of the officials who could not virtually give us a greeting today. We have the faculty in charge, Centro ng Wikang Filipino, Assistant Professor Efmer Agustin, our budget officer, Ms. Rosana Bure, the head of the Supply and Property Services Office, Mr. Delphin Aledra Jr., the General Foreman and Campus Development and Maintenance Office, Architect Rowan Abrahano. We would also like to acknowledge the rest of the faculty members who are with us this morning. They will be introduced at your respective division orientations later this afternoon. So don't forget to attend that. At this point, let us all relax and tune in to a performance by Miss Rosary Padilla.
Pasok lang
I hope our first years are still here and still listening to our orientation. So at this point, please hold on to your seats because we'll be having the first round of a raffle. So the college will be giving out masks for the students who will be chosen in our raffle. So Ma'am Irma is showing us the masks that you can get. So for those who will be chosen, please contact the college sec or anyone in the chat box so that we can send the masks to your house or to where you are via couriers. Okay, so let's start. We will be having 5 winners per round. First, we have Miss Katrina Bayani. Congratulations. Congratulations, Jernella Cardillo. We have 3 more. Congratulations to Dan Harkin Darang. Congratulations, Nicole May Mantahinay. Congratulations, Carol Bea Cornelis. Again, congratulations to our raffle winners. So don't hesitate to message or contact the OCS or please comment in the chat box. I think we will be giving 2 pairs of masks for our raffle winners. So at this point, let us continue with the program. As new students at the college and hopefully officially enrolled Scholar ng Bayan, it is imperative that you are aware of the different academic policies and directives existing throughout the academic year. Please focus your attention to this presentation by the College Secretary, Professor Irma Tan.
The UP Tacloban College Office of the College Secretary or OCS is the college counterpart of the Office of the University Registrar of UP Visayas. As such, one of its main functions is to make sure that processes from your initial registration as a student down to your graduation are in line with the academic policies of the university. At this point, allow us to provide you with some general information that can guide you as you navigate your way through college life. What we call an academic year is divided into the first semester, the second semester, and mid-year. This academic year 2021-2022, the Board of Regents, the highest governing body of the university, approved a semestral calendar following a 15-week semester and a 7-week mid-year to help students manage their academic load. The semester and mid-year terms also include what we call a reading break. It aims to allow you to catch up, understand your lessons, or simply take a break from the demands of the course and cope with anxiety brought by the COVID-19 pandemic. Regardless of the degree program you're enrolled in, there are 3 types of courses that you're required to take. First are the General Education or GE courses. These GE courses, offered across the whole UP system, are designed to provide you with an education that is tatak UP. Here at UP Tacloban College, we have 7 or 21 units of core or prescribed GE courses. These are CAS 1, Kasaysayan ng Pilipinas; Ethics 1, Ethics and Moral Reasoning in Everyday Life; Arts 1, Critical Perspectives in the Arts; STS 1, Science, Technology and Society; Wika isa, Wika, Kultura at Lipunan; Com 10, Critical Perspectives in Communication; and Math 10, Mathematics, Culture and Society. You also have 5 or 15 units of what we call GE elective courses. These are PhilArts 1, Philippine Arts and Culture; SES 1, Self and Society; Science 10, Probing the Physical World; Science 11, Living Systems, Concepts and Dynamics; and GE 12, which could be any newly instituted or reconfigured GE course. You also need to take physical education courses. PE courses are broken down into PE 1, Foundations of Physical Fitness, and 3 PE 2 courses of your choice. There is an array of PE 2 courses to choose from, like badminton, table tennis, popular ballroom, and others. You also need to enroll in the National Service Training Program courses, NSTP 1 and NSTP 2. There are 3 NSTP components: the Reserve Officers Training Corps or ROTC, Civic Welfare Training Service or CWTS, and Literacy Training Service or LTS. For this academic year, the college will focus on offering the CWTS component. Now let's talk about the grading system. A uniform grading system is followed across the University of the Philippines system. Here are the numeric grades and their corresponding adjectival equivalents. 1 to 125 is excellent, 1.5 to 1.75 is very good, 2 to 2.25 is good, 2.5 to 2.75 satisfactory, 3 means you simply passed, and 4 is conditional failure. 5 means you failed, and an INC is an incomplete. This first semester, just like in the previous academic year, the no-fail policy of the university remains in place. This means that even if you have a failing status or your performance is unsatisfactory, you will not be given a grade of 4 or 5. Your teacher may, however, drop you from the course. But the no-fail policy is not applicable in cases where the student has been found guilty of intellectual dishonesty. An INC or incomplete is given if a student's overall class standing is passing, but he or she fails to take the final examination or fails to complete other requirements due to illness or any other valid reason. Completion of the INC must be done within the prescribed period of 1 academic year. If you incur an INC this first semester and you are not able to complete it in 1 academic year, you will have to re-enroll the course if it is required in your curriculum. Every semester, the college confers honorific scholarships to recognize students' academic performance. The university scholarship is given to students who obtain, at the end of the semester, a general weighted average of 1.45 or better. University scholars are listed under the university president's list of scholars. The college scholarship, on the other hand, is given to students who obtain a general weighted average of 1.75 or better. College scholars are listed under the college dean's list of scholars. If recognition is given to students who perform well academically, the university also calls the attention of students who, for some reasons, are performing below the standards set by the university. A student who at the end of the semester obtains final grades below 3 in 25 to 49% of the total number of academic units he or she is enrolled in will receive a warning. A student who obtains final grades below 3 in 50 to 75% of the total number of academic units in which he has final grades shall be placed on probation in the succeeding semester, and his or her regular load will be reduced. A probation may be removed by obtaining grades of 3 or better in more than 50% of the units in which he or she has final grades in the succeeding semester. A student who at the end of the semester obtains final grades below 3 in more than 75% but less than 100% of the total number of units in which he or she receives final grades shall be dropped from the rolls of the college. Also, a student on probation who fails in 50% or more of the total number of units in which he or she receives final grades shall also be dropped from the rolls of the college. Please take note that any student who has been dismissed from the college cannot be ordinarily admitted to any other unit of the university. The Director of Student Affairs of the unit where he or she hopes to transfer to will determine qualification in terms of natural aptitude and interest before being allowed to enroll in the proper college, school, or department. And we do hope that you will not reach the point of permanent disqualification. Any student who at the end of the semester or term obtains final grades below 3 in 100% of the academic units in which he is given final grades shall be permanently barred from readmission to any college or school of the university. There are instances when a student who has been permanently disqualified makes an appeal for readmission, but no readmission of dismissed or disqualified students shall be considered by the Dean of the college without the favorable recommendation of the University Guidance Counselor. If the action of the Dean is contrary to the recommendation of the University Guidance Counselor, the appeal may be elevated to the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. The decision of the VCAA is final. If for some unavoidable circumstances you are forced to leave school, you need to file for a leave of absence or LOA so that the period of time that you are not enrolled will not be counted against the maximum number of years that you may stay in the university. An LOA should not exceed 1 year but may be renewed for at most another year. When not taken in 2 successive years, the aggregate LOA should not exceed 2 years. A student who needs to go on LOA beyond 2 years are advised to apply for an honorable dismissal without prejudice to readmission. A student cannot stay in the university for an unlimited period of time. There is what we call maximum residency. A student must finish the requirements of a degree program within a period of actual residence equivalent to 1.5 times the normal length prescribed by his or her program. Beyond that, the student shall apply for a waiver of the maximum residency rule to be approved by the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs through the Dean of the College. All these academic delinquency rules may sound daunting, but this first semester, as students continue to grapple with the effects of the pandemic, the academic delinquency rules such as warning, probation, dismissal, permanent disqualification, and the maximum residence rule remain suspended. The years of diligence and dedication to your studies could lead to graduating with honors. The minimum weighted average grade needed to graduate summa cum laude is 1.20, 1.45 for magna cum laude, and 1.75 for cum laude. That should give you a general picture of the academic matters that you should pay attention to. Should you have any questions, do not hesitate to email us at tac-sec.upvisayas@up.edu.ph. Thank you, and may you all have fruitful years here at UP Tacloban College.
Thank you, Ma'am Irma. So again, to our dear first-year students, if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask the OCS and even your program advisors. Again, huwag mahiyang magtanong. At this juncture, let us all listen attentively to the different policies and services offered by various offices during this academic year. First off, let us hear about the Office of Student Affairs from the OSA coordinator, Professor Irvina Espina.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to UPV Tacloban. The Office of Student Affairs, or OSA, is a support unit with an organized program of services to meet the varying needs of students in UP Visayas Tacloban. As an integral part of the academic institution, it supports the academic function of the university and is committed to the total development of students, cognizant of their dignity and personal worth as individuals. We also envisions to contribute in nurturing highly motivated students to programs and activities to help facilitate their vital growth and become effective members of the society. It is committed to serve the needs of students through proactive and responsive programs and services in the areas of counseling and guidance, financial assistance, dormitory, and meaningful participation in organizations and activities. The OSA is guided by the core values of excellence, service, integrity, nurturance, and nationalism. There are 4 units of the OSA which are responsible in providing essential student services, such as the guidance, counseling, and testing services, scholarship and financial assistance, student organizations and activities, and housing services. Specific to each unit are the respective student services offered. Guidance and counseling and testing services provides individual counseling to assist students who seek help and psychosocial support. Psychological testing is also provided to aid students who attends or intends to shift to other courses and aid students in their decision-making. Follow-up sessions with counselees and other clients are done to ensure that they are provided the necessary support as they grapple with their life concerns. Referrals are also initiated to help link students to individuals, offices, or organizations who can assist them in their needs. For example, we have a referral system to local psychologists and psychiatrists for those needing highly specialized support services. We also organize placement services for graduating students, such as career development program, career placement and employment seminar, job fair and job posting, and career counseling. The goal of these activities is to guide graduating students to identify and clarify their career paths through actual experiences of job search, through different job postings, job application and interviews, and undergoing tests and career counseling to have a glimpse of the exciting world of work. For academic year 2020-2021, we organized a series of talks and webinars aimed to address some issues and concerns of students like mental health, social media use, remote learning, and financial literacy. We also organize programs and activities such as the Personal Enhancement Program, the PEP, seminar for workshops and team building activities. This is to ensure that valuable information on psychosocial adjustment and coping, educational, occupational, recreational, and other activities not ordinarily provided in a regular classroom setting are disseminated and shared not only for first-year students, but for all students. The spirit of volunteerism is alive through the Peer Facilitating Program. This is a volunteer service program with the objective of training and equipping volunteer students in the areas of peer counseling, intake interviews, and organizing activities, all under the supervision of the guidance counselor. This is an opportunity for students to hone their skills in counseling and organizing, which will help them as they journey into the real world. For academic year 2021-2022, we have a new batch of peer facilitators. Students in general are eligible for the grant of free tuition and other school fees under RA 10931 or the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education. Those who are not covered by the free tuition may apply for the Grants in Aid program or the GIA. Under the program is the Learning and Gadget Assistance and Student Insurance Coverage, which was initiated last year when we shifted to the remote mode of learning. Qualified students can avail of internet assistance and one-time gadget grant and monthly stipend. This is based on the income or paying capacity and the socioeconomic characteristics of the household that a student belongs. Students with FDS or full discount with stipend classification receive monthly stipend. Among the services which the SFA unit processes are free tuition processing, affiliation of application and appeals or facilitation of application and appeals of GIAP, application processing of INB, and student assistantship. For this academic year, we do not have essays. For academic year 2020-2021, we received a number of donations from private organizations and the UP Tacloban Donation Drive Urugu. We're able to facilitate distribution of laptops and tablets to deserving students. For scholarships, students may apply for private or government scholarships, which the OSA announces regularly through the OSA FB page and other similar postings. For UP scholarships, the OSA facilitates the application and processing, such as the Presidential Scholarship. For non-UP government scholarships, students directly send their application to the CHED to avail of the following available scholarships: Full Merit, Tulong Dunong, and the TDP test. For the DOST, they offer the following available scholarships: Merit Scholarship, RA 7687, and the JLSS. For private scholarships, the OSA facilitates the screening and shortlisting of qualified scholars. For academic year 2021-2022, we have the AGAP Scholarship, 1UPV, UPAAGLA, and UP Alumni Association in America. These scholarships consist of living, internet, and book subsidies and are based on both financial need and academic performance. The SOA, or the Student Organization and Activities Unit, coordinates all student org-related activities, org recognition, and implementation of the rules and guidelines for student orgs, as well as monitoring student-initiated activities and programs. Around 42 student organizations were given recognition for academic year 2020-2021. These organizations are classified as academic, fraternity, political, socio-civic, varsitarian, cultural, international, religious, sorority, or sports and recreational student orgs. First-year students can join these organizations except the fraternities. For housing services, the UPV Tacloban has 3 dormitories: the ladies' and the men's dormitory, and the newly constructed building. The ladies' dorm can accommodate up to 60 students, while the men's dorm can accommodate around 40 student dormers. Priority is given to students who come from outside of Tacloban City, first-year students, and student bracketing, meaning that those with FDS is prioritized, then down to the next bracket, and so on until the slots are filled. Concerns regarding student discipline is within the jurisdiction of the Student Disciplinary Tribunal, or the SDT. Also refers to the SDT all cases involving discipline of students under the rules and regulations on student conduct and discipline. The SOA assists the Student Council in its involvement through the SEB or during Student Council elections, as well as other activity collaborations. The OSA also facilitates the issuance of good moral certification. OSA facilitates the yearly Pasidungog program to acknowledge the academic achievements of students as they are recognized for their scholastic achievement as university or college scholars. For students who need immediate financial assistance, we have the Darangpan Emergency Loan Program. Through this program, students can borrow money to help defray education-related expenses from minimal interest. It also serves as the repository for student mails and lost and found items. Posting of job vacancies is forced through the office as well. I have shared with you the different student services that the OSA facilitates. We encourage you, our dear students, to connect, communicate, and be involved. We at OSA encourages everyone to keep in touch with us. You can reach us through the following email addresses and FB page. For you to get to know us better, these are the people behind the various units of the OSA. The OSA is under the direct supervision of the college dean. It is headed by a faculty coordinator, Associate Professor Ervina A. Espina, Attorney Patrick Santo, who represents the SDT Secretariat. Our guidance counselor is Ms. Rhea Lina J. Saavedra. For the SFA unit, we have Ms. Lorna N. Rodrigo, and for the SOA, we have Ms. Frances Billy Mariel M. Palomo. For the dormitory staff, we have Assistant Professor Mia May Permon as dorm head, with Ms. Luz Garado and Rickfer Gasita the household attendance for both dorms respectively. We encourage you to contact us so we will know how we can be of service to you. Thank you and welcome to UPV Tacloban.
Thank you, ma'am. To our students, again, if you think you qualify for some of the services or you are in need of the services from OSA, don't hesitate to contact them. Next, to give us a glimpse of the services available under the Learning Resource Center, we have the TLRSC Coordinator, Professor Anilyn Oliveros Yusong.
The TLRC is a space where UP students and teachers may collaborate and avail of services that complement the students' academic needs. It aims to augment teaching and learning by providing various programs and services which supplement, complement, and coordinate existing learning assistant programs in the college. With a commitment to provide need-based learning assistance programs for students, supplementary teaching enhancement programs for teachers, and nurturing learning spaces and responsive technological assistance services for both students and teachers. The office is directly under the Office of the Dean and is working closely with the CCRL, or the College Committee on Remote Learning. We have one office staff in the name of Miss Bernadette Singson, who is popularly known as Ate Nads by the students and teachers of UP Tacloban. For learning assistance programs, we started the school year by working with the UP system in offering Remote Learning 101 or RL 101, which is a short online course designed to give students a preview of what it will be like to learn remotely. It is offered to the incoming first-year students for them to differentiate remote learning from traditional or conventional classroom-based instruction, improve readiness for remote learning, and become familiar with the basic features of the UPV TAC VLE. Every year, we offer a bridge program in English and mathematics. The bridge program is an enhancement program offered to first-year students to improve their academic preparation and ease the transition from high school to college. It is composed of 2 courses that are hosted in the UPV TAC VLE. We have Bridge 101.1 Mathematics and Bridge 101.2 English. The office also offers assistance to students in their academic needs in the form of peer tutorials. We plan to offer a short course on digital literacy with the hope to help students learn how to use digital technology appropriately in their learning and how to exhibit good digital citizenship. There is also a plan of instituting a dry laboratory in mathematics. It will be an interactive site that aims to deepen conceptual learning and provide students with tools to explore and reinforce their learning of mathematics. For faculty support, we are launching our new program entitled Remote Control, Taking Charge of Remote Teaching and Learning. It is a teaching enhancement workshop series for the UP Tacloban faculty. This was kicked off by an orientation of the new faculty on the principles of remote learning. We also had a video production workshop by Prof. Iris Isiptan, one of Metrobank Foundation's 2021 Most Outstanding Filipino awardees. The TLRC has an interactive learning program or ILP that provides computer and internet access to students. It also provides free computer use for students that is equivalent to 30 hours for students doing their thesis or special problems, 20 hours for regular students. We also provide printing, ring binding, scanning, and photocopying services. We also have 2 rooms that are equipped with multimedia projectors, air conditioning units, projector screens, and sound systems. These rooms are considered as study or discussion rooms and could be available for film showings, seminars, classes, and meetings. Unfortunately, the ILP is currently not available for students in the remote teaching and learning setup. If you need something from the TLRC, you may contact us by sending an email to lrc.tac.upvisayas@up.edu.ph. You may also call us through our landline number 053-832-7278. We can also be found on Facebook with the handle UPVTC Teaching and Learning Resource Center. Again, to the first year students, welcome to UP Tacloban. Dayón, Kamo. And to the rest of us in the UP community, welcome back to a new school year. Dayón kita.
Thank you, Ma'am Annie. Having problems with your device during remote learning setup? Please pay attention to this presentation from the systems administrator as they walk you through the different ICT services.
Good day. In this video, you will learn about the different types of IT services that you can avail of as students of UP Tacloban. To start with, let me introduce to you the Systems Administrator's Office. The SysAd office is responsible for maintaining the ICT infrastructure of UPVTC. Moreover, they are also in charge of providing technical support to both employees and students on their ICT-related concerns. The SysAd is composed of Edwin, the computer maintenance technologist, Alan, the information systems analyst, and John, who is the systems administrator. UP provides an array of online services aimed to support students in their UP education. The services include productivity applications such as UP Mail, MS Office 365, and the Zoom video conferencing app. UP also has academic-related online services such as the UPVCRS, the UPVTC VLE, and the Integrated Library System. For those of you who will apply for scholarships offered by the UP system, you will also have access to the Student Learning Assistance System online. The UP Mail, which is powered by Google, is the institutional email platform of the UP system. Your UP Mail account will give you access to high-volume storage on Google Drive, Google's collaboration tools such as Google Docs, Slides, as well as its video conferencing apps such as Google Chat and Google Meet. The UP Mail account can also be used to access other services offered by the UP system. To create your UP Mail account, send an email to sysad.tac.upvisayas@up.edu.ph. Do not forget to attach the latest copy of your Form 5 or ID to successfully process your request. UP students can also avail themselves of their personal Office 365 account. An Office 365 account gives you access to a whole lot of Microsoft's online services such as the online version of MS Office applications. You can also use your Office 365 account to download MS Office applications to your personal computer. On top of this, you are also given 1 terabyte worth of storage on Microsoft's OneDrive service. To sign up for your Office 365 account, visit this page at itdc.up.edu.ph. Your UP Mail account also gives you access to a licensed version of the Zoom video conferencing. Just sign into the service with your UP Mail account to avail. The online remote learning package of UP does not end there. The online classes in UPVTC are mainly delivered asynchronously using the UPVTC virtual learning environment. The UPVTC VLE is based on Moodle, an open source and free education management system that is used by many universities worldwide. The UPVTC VLE team has sent your individual account credentials to the email address indicated in your CRS account. If you have any concerns, feel free to contact the UPVTC VLE email address at vle.tac.upvisayas@up.edu.ph. Finally, please take note of these email addresses where you can send your queries or concerns regarding UPVTC's online services. For UP mail-related concerns, you may contact the UPVTC Help Desk at sisad.tac.upvisayas@up.edu.ph. For the UPVTC VLE, send an email to vle.tac.upvisayas@up.edu.ph. To request assistance on your CRS account, you may contact the OCS at tac-sec.upvisayas@up.edu.ph. Lastly, for any IT-related concerns not covered above, you may contact us at sisad.tac.upvisayas@up.edu.ph. Dayon kamo, dayon kita. Mabuhay ang mga bagong iskolar ng bayan.
Thank you, Sir John, and thank you, Ma'am Olga. Again, the UP Mail has a lot of perks. So if you require the MS office, don't hesitate to contact them regarding this matter. Curious about available resources in the library and other related services offered? Take note of this discussion from our college librarians, Ms. Florabel Banyares and Ms. Melanie Calope.
Hello everyone, this is the University of the Philippines, Visayas, Tacloban College Library Orientation, Refreshment of Academic Year 2021-2022. Let's start off with the collections of our college library with a glimpse of the area where these collections are found. We have more than 30,000 of books in our library. This is the Filipiniana section, where all books about the Philippines with Filipino authors are located. This is the circulation books of foreign authors, which you can borrow for 2 weeks. We also have UPiana collections. These are books published by the University of the Philippines. This is our Graduate Studies Reading Room or GSRR, where all books about the courses of graduate studies can be found. This is a periodicals and thesis area, where you can find our physical subscribed journals. Thesis papers are also deposited in this area. We also have fiction books area, where you can find novels for your leisure reading. All of the library's collections can be found in our integrated library system called iLive, which you can access via the following platforms. First, you can go to the UPVTC website
or via UPVTC library website or via iLive site. Let's go to the UPVTC website and hover on the services page and click the library page. Next is by visiting the UPVTC library website at http://sites.google.com/update.edu.ph/upvtc-library. Hover your mouse on the online databases page and click on Web Open. Or you can directly type http://ilib.tac.upv.edu.ph on the browser, and it will transfer you to the iLive page. You can do some basic search even if you are not yet a registered user, but you cannot get the full details of the title you are looking for. Since I am a registered user, let us try using my account. I'll type in my username and my password. This is how the iLive looks like as a registered user. Let us say you wanted to look for a book on economics. Just type in economics and click on the search bar. And it will give you the full bibliographic information about this particular book, Principles of Economics by Royal Brandeis. It will also give you an idea that this book has the table of contents with the PDF file. If you want to request for a specific scanned chapter of this book, just click on the PDF file. And it will bring you to the Google Drive, where a scanned table of content of the Principles of Economics can be found. You can scroll down and request for a particular chapter for scanning with the exact page numbers. For copyright infringement, we can only share 10% of the total number of pages per book request. That is how you can search for a particular book using the iLive and request for document delivery. We also have online resources available for your online information needs. We have Scopus, Science Direct, ProQuest, Gale Reference Complete, Taylor & Francis Online, Springer Nature, Web of Science, Journal of Visualized Experiment or JOB, EBSCO Academic Search Complete, Emerald Publishing, Project News, Cambridge Core, JS Store, and there's a lot more at UPV University Library website. These are the following library services that we have offered in the new normal. First is the document delivery service. Just go to the UPVTC library website and you can request for scanning of the chapters of books available in the library. Hover your mouse on the library services and click on Document Delivery. This is the infographics for the document delivery service of the UPVTC library, and this will give you the idea on how to request for scanning of library materials. If you want to request for scanning of printed materials available in the library, just click on the request form link and it will direct you to the form. The scanned materials will be delivered to your email. Online resources is also one of the library services that the UP system has subscribed to meet all your online information needs. And since our admin for the online resources is the UPV University Library, we will be using the UPV University Library website. Just go to the UPV University Library website at https://library.upv.edu.ph and go to the electronic resources page. It will give you all the subscribed databases for the whole UP system. Just click on the online databases and it will give you all the subscribed databases of the UP system. When you scroll down on the page, it will also give you the link to the other databases and the databases on trial with the exact login details and the expiration date of the trial access. Open Athens is a one-stop shop to the library's online databases. By logging into Open Athens, you can access all the library's online databases in just one-time login. Always use your UP email when logging to Open Athens. When you click on Open Athens, you will be redirected to My Athens account of the University of the Philippines, Visayas. You will discover 21 subscribed resources of the UP system. Book drop service is also one of the library services that the library has offered since the pandemic. All students were able to return their borrowed books via our book drop service. This is the process of returning the book via our book drop service. First, when you are at the campus, always observe the IHCF protocols like wearing of face mask and face shield, washing of hands, thermal scanning. Second, you can place your borrowed books in the designated drop box at the guardhouse near the library building. Third, email or message the college library that you have already returned your borrowed book at the drop box. Step 4. The library will send you a confirmation of your returned book or books via email or FB page messenger. Step 5. You can log into your CRS account to check the update of your status, and you can contact the library if it has not yet been updated. That is our book drop service procedure for the UPVTC library. And the fourth is information literacy, like what we are doing now. We are conducting a virtual library orientation. You can chat YOLA or email for your requests for more library-related information awareness, or visit our library website for more announcements and updates of the UPVTC library. Yes, these are the people behind your library online transactions. Aside from maintaining the cleanliness of the library during the whole pandemic period, Kuya Nick is in charge of digitizing the old journals which was damaged during Yolanda. Kuya Ruel is also in charge of digitizing the old Lady Summer newspaper. Miss Joy is in charge of all administrative services for the library. And Miss Aster is in charge of the GSRR, or the Graduate Studies Reading Room. And also, she digitizes the table of contents of the book in the library. Miss Emma is the one who managed all the collections in the thesis and periodical section. Sir Tony is at the binary section and has maintained the proper condition of our books in the library. Miss Mel is our college librarian who manages our FB page and library website. She answers most of your queries online in FB page, Messenger, and email. She is also our indexer for periodical. Ma'am Flor is our head librarian who is also assigned at the technical services as our cataloger. She supervises everyone in the library and makes sure that the library is placed in the best position. Please don't forget to visit, like, and follow all our social media accounts. Meet and chat Yola, your online librarian at your service, your virtual reference librarian. Tweet us at UPVTC Library. Email us at live.tac.upvisayas@up.edu.ph. Like and follow our page at UPVTC Library. Please don't forget to chat Yola for all your library inquiries. Just click the Yola button. Please also visit the UPVTC Library website and explore more about our college library. And thank you so much. We hope you will patronize the UPVTC Library. On behalf of the UPVTC Library, we proudly say that we are happy to serve you even in this time of pandemic. Bye!
Thank you to our library team for that in-depth and wonderful presentation. Worried about your health, in need of medical consultation from a health expert? Listen to this presentation from our college physician, Dr. Marvin Jed Solidad of the Health Services Unit.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to UP Tacloban. I am Dr. Jed Soledad, your university physician, and today I am here to introduce to you the Health Services Unit. So first, who are the members of our unit? The HSU is composed of one physician, yours truly, one dentist, Dr. Rulfine Macaya, and one nurse, Ms. Diane De Anton. As a unit, here are our functions. It is basically to provide primary healthcare services for our mandated clientele. These services will come in the form of medical and dental consultations, first aid and emergency care, regular health appraisal for college staff and students, pre-registration or employment examination of clientele, as well as preventive or promotive healthcare programs, such as our wellness program and blood donation program. Who are our mandated clients? Our services are available for you, our enrolled students, as well as for the UPVTC admin faculty and staff and dependents, and authorized civilians, such as security guards, job orders, and those who render services to the college but are not regular employees. What is our schedule and how do we deliver our services? Our clinic services are available from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. To adapt to the changes brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic, the HSU will be utilizing telemedicine as its primary mode of service delivery. The process will be explained to you in a bit. Medically, the services that our unit can provide include free medical consultations with medications. We'll give the full dose of medications to our patients, but this is of course subject to availability. Since we are currently implementing pure distance learning, we can arrange a pickup system where the patients or guardians of the students can pick up the medications at the guardhouse after presenting an identification card of the patient. For public health concerns, this system will only be available for clients from nearby areas. Under the new normal, here's our consultation process. For medical concerns, you can contact the HSU nurse for scheduling and triaging using the following contact details. Your concern will be triaged as emergent or non-emergent. If your triage is having emergent concern while being at home, you are advised to proceed to the nearest healthcare center as these concerns need to be checked by a physician as soon as possible for immediate management. Some examples would include chest pain, loss of consciousness, severe bleeding, and the like. If your triage is having an emergent concern while being within the college premises, you can proceed to the unit for immediate management and/or referral. This currently applies for the faculty, admin, and staff that are reporting for work. This process will be applicable to you in the future when activities within the campus are once again allowed. If your triage is having a mild or non-emergent concern, you will be given a consultation schedule and will be asked to fill out a consent form through Google Forms. Ideally, the teleconsultation will be through a video or teleconference with the physician via Zoom, FB Messenger, or other platforms. As such, the patient will need to have internet connection and a phone capable of video conferencing, or a laptop or computer. If these are unavailable, our services can be extended to phone calls or SMS. Now we go to the policies on issuances of medical certificates or medical clearances. The HSU will issue a medical certificate or clearance if and only if the client has undergone proper medical consultation with the college physician. If the client has been seen by a physician other than the college physician, the client in question will have to secure a medical certificate from the physician who has seen him or her. Certificates and/or clearances will be sent electronically through email. Patients who need secondary or specialist care will be referred to higher centers of care for further evaluation and management. A referral form will be provided for the patient. For dental services, we provide free consultation. Free medications good for 3 days will be given. Other services such as oral prophylaxis, dental extraction, and other minor procedures, as well as dental filling, are available at minimum price. Now we go to the consultation process for dental concerns. Due to the inherent risk of exposure and infection during the dental procedures, especially during this pandemic, dental procedures will be limited. Hence, prior scheduling is required. And since dental procedures are heavily equipment dependent, the patient will have to come to the campus for dental management, and only scheduled patients will be allowed entry into the campus. All records, including the medical form that you have submitted for your enrollment, are confidential. Personal information can only be released outside the college with the student's written consent or the parent's written consent if the student is a minor. Exceptions are made in the case of life-threatening emergencies or as required by law and/or public health regulations. We go now to the responses of the college to COVID-19. UPVTC through the HSU has set up the following health protocols inside the campus. Within the campus, everyone is required to wear masks and face shields at all times. Only those with official business in the campus will be allowed entry. Students and those not under UPVTC will be required the following upon entry: the usage of foot baths, having temperature checks, doing hand washing, and the use of the QR code. For questions and concerns, you may reach us using the following contact details. Thank you very much, and again, welcome to UP Tacloban. Keep safe, at mabuhay ang mga bagong scholar ng bayan.
Thank you so much, Doc Jed. At this point, I would like to suggest and recommend all our students to stand up and feel the groove together with this dance performance from Step UP.
Hey yo, hey yo,
wrist, diamonds up and down my chain. Cardi B straight stunning, can't tell me nothing. Bossed up and I changed the game. It's my big bronze boogie, got all them girls shook. My big fat ass got all them boys cooked. We're from dollar bills, now we popping rubber bands. Bruno sang to me while I do my money dance like, hey. Flexing on the ground like, hey. Hit the Lil Jon, okay, okay. Oh yeah, we tripping and finesse and getting paid.
Boy, you give me feelings never felt before. I'm making it obvious by knocking at your door. I know that I'm coming tonight. You know I'm coming tonight. Don't want to deny it anymore.
I wanna walk with you. I watch the whole room change. Baby, that's what you do. No, my baby don't play. Blaming all my confidence. I'm blaming all your measurements. Shut the shit down on sight. That's right.
Baby, you got lucky 'cause you're rocking with the best. And I'm greedy 'cause I'm so greedy. 'Cause I'm so, I ain't talking money, I'm just physically obsessed. And I'm greedy 'cause I'm so greedy. 'Cause I'm so greedy. You know that I'm greedy for love. You know that I'm greedy for love. 'Cause I'm so greedy. You know that I'm greedy for love. You know that I'm greedy for love. 'Cause I'm so
Slow it down for me, baby. 'Cause I love the way it feels when we grind. Yeah, our connection's so magnetic on the floor. Nothing can stop us tonight.
oh baby, been in this state of mind, 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 been in this state of mind.
That's right. Tripping in finesse. It don't make no sense. Out here tripping in finesse. You know it, you know it. Out here tripping in finesse. It don't make no sense. Out here tripping in finesse. You know it, you know it. Just grab your ladies if your lady fine. Tell her she the one for life. Ladies, grab your fellas, let's do this right. Do this right.
Thank you, Steph UP. So I hope all our students got hyped and had the urge to dance as well. May I remind everyone, if you have questions, don't hesitate to place them in the chat box or in the Q&A section. So these questions will be answered by if to whom you are directing them to. So at this point, we're moving on to our second round and last round of raffle for the masks. Sir John. again, we'll be having 5 more winners for this round. Congratulations, Katrina Pabello. Congratulations, Aldrin Mancol. Congratulations, Frank Haniel Urquin. Congratulations, Sir Louis Aquino. And our last raffle winner, congratulations, Julia De Paz. So again, congratulations to all our raffle winners. Please contact our OCS team so that they can send the pair of masks to you via couriers. So at this point, our college legal counsel, Attorney Patrick Santo, will shed light on the policies regarding student conduct and discipline, anti-hazing law, copyright law, and the Data Privacy Act.
Good morning, freshmen and dear parents. Congratulations and welcome to UP. I am the legal counsel of UP, and I am here to give you a brief explanation of the rules and regulations that students have to observe. Here are the do's and don'ts of your stay in UP. Follow them, and I guarantee you a pleasant and rewarding UP life. What I will discuss are the special rules and regulations designed to regulate the activities of fraternities, sororities, and student organizations. These rules are in addition to the regular student rules and regulations. The activities enumerated and punished here need special attention. What follows are some of the important rules. There are others which I did not include due to time constraints. So students, I encourage you to go over your handbook, read it several times, and familiarize yourself with these rules. Here is a picture of a rumble. It is basically a fight between members of opposing fraternities. It is prohibited. This slide shows hazing. Hazing or physical initiation includes paddling and beating. Any activity which results in physical harm is hazing. These activities are prohibited. Activities which result in psychological harm also qualify as hazing. They are also prohibited. Activities that tend to humiliate, degrade, and cause psychological harm constitute hazing too. They are prohibited. The penalty for hazing is expulsion. It will be imposed on the members, the officers, including the neophyte who was hazed, except if the neophyte becomes a witness. Those who did the hazing are also criminally liable. The penalty is imprisonment. If the neophyte died, the imprisonment is for life. Now take note, freshmen, you cannot be recruited and you cannot join fraternities or sororities in your freshman year. The purpose is to prevent the freshman from making a hasty decision. The second year, the freshman can join fraternities or sororities. The penalty for this is 1 year suspension. The freshman who joined will also be punished. Also, that's it for the rules and regulations governing fraternities, sororities, and other organizations. Again, I encourage you to read your handbook, familiarize yourself with the rules. Let us go to the regular student rules and regulations. I will discuss the notable rules only due to time constraints. There are also other rules, and you can read them in your handbook. Familiarize yourself with them. UP is an academic institution. It puts value in your honesty in doing your academic and schoolwork. So cheating in any form is prohibited. You can see from the slide that there are many ways to cheat. The only limitation is the cheater's imagination. The penalty for cheating is 1 year suspension, plus the cheater cannot graduate with honors. So even if the weighted average of the cheater is 1.00 something, he cannot be an honor student anymore. So sayang. UP also punishes giving false statements in your admission to UP, in your registration while in UP, and in your graduation. For your admission to UP, you will submit your high school grades, diploma, certificates. In your registration while in UP, you will submit the grades of the courses you have taken. And for your graduation, you will need your transcript of grades. You should not give any false information in any of these documents. This slide refers to the application for the socialized tuition system or other scholarships. Giving false information is prohibited. In the STS application, the student would be asked to disclose and list the family's appliances, cars, houses, or lands that they own. In doing so, in making the list, you have to be truthful. So parents, please take note. You will be the ones who will make the list. So be truthful. So just as a warning, UP conducts spot checks to verify what you have listed. So UP will find out if the list that you have given is true or not. So withholding information or misrepresenting information is punishable by suspension or expulsion plus the reimbursement of benefits received. So that's it for the regular rules. Again, students, please read your handbook and familiarize yourself with these rules. Let us go to copyright. This is important as you will be conducting researches in your study. You will be writing, painting, and producing or submitting materials. So copyright is a legal right granted to the author to print, publish, perform, or record literary, artistic, or musical material, and to authorize others to do the same. So if you are an author or a composer or a filmmaker, you have these rights. As a general rule, others cannot print, publish, or perform your material without your consent. So the DJs in the radio cannot play your music on the radio without your consent. If you have written a novel, it cannot be made into a movie without your consent. That is copyright. So here are some of the materials subject to copyright: books, pamphlets, articles, writings, periodicals, newspapers, computer programs, other literary, scholarly, scientific, and artistic materials. The list is not exhaustive, and there are others. So if you print or publish a book, or record music and sell it without the author's consent, that is copyright infringement. That is illegal. You'll go to jail for that. You will also be asked to pay damages. Some acts, however, are not illegal. They can be done without copyright infringement. So one, fair use. So for a teacher, he can photocopy an article and distribute it in class. This is allowed. It is not copyright infringement. For you students, you can photocopy an article and other published work. It is not copyright infringement, provided it's just a single copy and for research purposes and private study. So if you photocopy more than one set and then sell it, that is copyright infringement. That is not allowed. Different from copyright infringement is plagiarism. It is taking an original work and presenting it as your own. So if you copy a speech of John F. Kennedy or Abraham Lincoln and present it as your own, that is plagiarism. If you write it in Filipino, translate it into Filipino and claim it as your own, that is also plagiarism. So this person committed plagiarism. Another one, he committed plagiarism. And also another one, he also committed plagiarism. So if you copy the lyrics or melody, the song Perfect by Ed Sheeran, and then submit it as your own, that is plagiarism. If you lift the paragraphs in the novels or writings of Jose Rizal and submit it as your own, that is also plagiarism. Plagiarism is a form of dishonesty. It is not allowed and it is punished in the same manner as cheating. If you use the work of someone else, you can do that, but you have to acknowledge the authorship of that other person. You can do it by using footnotes or endnotes, or for example, indicating it in your writing. Okay, so that's all for my presentation. So once again, I ask you to familiarize yourself with the rules. Do not violate any of them, and your life in UP would be meaningful and fruitful. So you are a scholar ng bayan. Being a student in UP is a privilege. Make yourself and your parents proud. Make UP proud. Serve your country and the Filipinos. Once again, congratulations and good luck in your studies.
Thank you, Attorney Patrick. Now, regarding the anti-sexual harassment rules, let us hear from the coordinator of the Office of Anti-Sexual Harassment during academic year 2019 to 2020, Professor Kirima Hobson.
My task is to give you an orientation on the OWASH, or the Office of Anti-Sexual Harassment. What is the basis of the OWASH? The basis of the OWASH is the UP Anti-Sexual Harassment Code, which was approved by the BOR Board of Regents on its 1324th meeting on January 26, 2017. So what are the policy standards of the Code on Sexual Harassment? Sexual harassment is a reprehensible conduct which subverts the mission of the university and undermines the dignity of the members of the UP community. I would like to emphasize the word reprehensible. What is reprehensible? It is wrong, inexcusable, bad, disgraceful, shameful. Does it mean that the shame is on the victim of sexual harassment? Definitely not. The shame is on the one who commits sexual harassment. And sexual harassment is unacceptable. Still on policy standards and guidelines. Therefore, the university shall take measures to prevent and eliminate sexual harassment. The university shall provide appropriate services to parties to sexual harassment cases. What is the definition of sexual harassment? It is unwanted, unwelcome, uninvited behavior of a sexual nature. If an act is unwanted, unwelcome, uninvited, but not sexual in nature, like a punch in the face, it is not sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is also inappropriate sexual advances or offensive remark about a person's sex, sexual orientation, or gender identity. Note that when we talk of sexual advances, it is physical. But when we talk of offensive remarks, it is verbal. Therefore, sexual harassment is not only physical, it could also be verbal or even visual. I want to emphasize this. If it is unwanted, it is harassment. It goes without saying that if it is not unwanted, it is not harassment. Still on definition, sexual harassment may be a demand or request for a sexual favor by a person of authority, influence, or moral ascendancy in exchange for appointments, grants, grades, or favors, or other rewards. This is regardless of whether the act or acts are accepted by the offended party. So it doesn't mean that if the offended party did not accept the act, it is not sexual harassment. Sexual harassment may be committed inside UP premises or outside UP premises. Therefore, since we are off campus or in remote learning, has this code become irrelevant until we go back to campus? Let me share with you Safe Spaces Act, or IRR of RA 11313. It states both men and women must have equality, security, and safety, not only in private, but also in the streets, public spaces, online, workplaces, and education and training institutions. So we go back to the question, can sexual harassment be committed online? Let me quote the Safe Spaces Act. It states, gender-based online sexual harassment refers to an online conduct targeted at a particular person that causes or is likely to cause mental, emotional, or psychological distress and fear of personal safety. Sexual harassment acts including unwanted sexual remarks and comments, threats, uploading or sharing of one's photos without consent, video and audio recordings, cyber stalking, and online identity theft. Sexual harassment may involve abuse of authority or power, ascendancy, and influence, such as in relationships where you have teacher to student, senior faculty to junior faculty, health worker to patient, or healthcare work provider to client relationship. These these relationships involve abuse of authority. However, sexual harassment may also not involve abuse of authority. These are peer relationships, examples of which are faculty to faculty, employee to employee, student to student relations, harassment of teaching or non-teaching personnel by the students, or supervisors harassed by subordinates. Now we go to the classification of acts. If you take a look at the list, this involves not even physical touching, but looking. So, number one is surreptitious looking or stealing a look at a person's private parts or underclothing. There is a look that is simply looking, but there is a look that is sexual in nature or malicious, such as leering or ogling. Sexual flirtation or persistent unwanted attentions with sexual overtones. Inquiries or comments about a person's sex life and gender orientation. Still on light offenses. This time it's communicating sexist, smutty remarks causing discomfort, embarrassment, offense, or insult to the receiver. It can also be a display of sexually offensive pictures, materials, or graffiti, and other analogous cases. Then we have less grave offenses or acts of sexual harassment. Here it is verbal. We have verbal or nonverbal abuse with sexual overtones, derogatory or degrading remarks directed towards the opposite sex or one sex. It can also be touching or brushing against the victim's body, pinching that does not fall under grave offenses. Now we have grave offenses, which includes touching or groping of private parts of the body, such as the breast, genitalia, or buttocks. Forced kissing, requesting sexual favor in exchange for employment or passing grades or other rewards, attempted or consummated unwanted sexual intercourse or torture of the person in a sexual manner. So what are the three bodies or offices involved in the investigation or resolution of a sexual harassment case? We have the ASH Council, which is the Anti-Sexual Harassment Council. It determines whether a prima facie case of sexual harassment exists before giving due course to the complaint. The OWASH, or the Office of Anti-Sexual Harassment, is responsible for the efficient implementation of the decisions and designs and implements programs of activities for the prevention of sexual harassment. The third office is the third committee is the ASH hearing pool. This hears the case when a formal procedure is preferred. What are the corrective measures for teaching and non-teaching personnel? Meaning, if the perpetrator or the one who committed the sexual harassment is a teacher or a non-teaching staff. If we look at the light offenses, it is in the third offense that the person is dismissed. For the first offense, it is reprimand or suspension. For the second offense, it is fine or suspension. For less grave offense, it is in the second offense that the person is dismissed. For the grave offense, it is in the first offense where the person is already dismissed. If the student is the perpetrator of the sexual harassment, for light offenses, it is in the third offense that the student is expelled. For less grave offenses, it is also in the third offense that the person is expelled. But for grave offenses, it is only in the first offense the student is already expelled. Therefore, we have zero tolerance to sexual harassment. Thank you.
College life will not be complete without the various activities, mainly spearheaded by the Student Council. Please help me welcome Rain Charles Magpayo, the representative of the Student Council and currently the temporary chair until the election commences this academic year. Rain?
Thank you po, Ma'am Marby. Hello, everyone. Good morning, Dean. Ma'am Marinto, good morning po. And to the rest of the faculty and staff of the college, good morning. I would like to say good morning din sa mga to my batchmates and the other returning students of UP. And most of all, maligayang pagbati sa ating mga bagong scholar ng bayan. Masigasig na pagpupugay sa inyo. Welcome to UP Tacloban. Probably this is the first time that we've met. So I would like to introduce myself first. Hi, I'm Rain Magpayo, the president of Batch Badinasigan. Currently in holdover position now on its third season kasi nga nagpandemya. So I really had no choice. I'm likewise appointed student council representative academic 2021. And because of the circumstances of the members of the student council, unfortunately, we do not have a chairperson who was supposed to be the one welcoming you all dito sa.
Hi, Rain. Continue.
Okay po. Okay, so yun po. Unfortunately, we do not have a chairperson kasi nga because of the circumstances of the members of the student council, but together with me right now, they are still watching through ang ating webinar are the other student council members, together with the batch representatives from Batch Sindakan, Mr. Ralph Budlong, and our batch representative from Batch Limbasog, Miss Andrea Siguan. So yun, chairperson or not, we hope na ma-feel ninyo yung warmth and excitement from the whole UP Tacloban community, especially from your atis and kuyas from Batch Madinasigan, Batch Sindakan, and Batch Limbasog. As students amidst the pandemic, I know it's quite unfortunate na dito tayo nagkita. Now we are spending one of our first days of the semester still in front of our screens, diba? In the normal setup, we could probably could have been at the third floor library, conducting tours around the campus, showing around the places, yung mga iconic places ng UP Tacloban, yung ating field, yung ating fountain, yung ating butterfly garden. And there's really a lot of things to see, even na maliit lang yung ating college. And of course, there are a lot of things na gusto sana namin may experience ninyo inside UP Tacloban. Diba? Especially yung aming UP culture. Diba? We could have introduced to you yung enchanting effect of the mini forest, how it keeps our sanity. You could have been entertained sa mga tumatakbong students from DM dahil minala sila na yung next class nila sa AS building. You could have been playing frisbee and also field and soccer and everything. And kami mga seniors, we could have taught you the proper way na sumipsip ng tubig sa aming famous na water fountains. Diba? And there's really a lot of things na we missed during the face-to-face setup, like yung mga pa-parties namin sa Shindig, CWSAP, Frolic na face-to-face, and lahat ng experiences hosted by the organizations inside UP, all of them taking part in introducing to you our UP culture. But even if na we are under these circumstances, limitations, hindi namin mapa-experience sa inyo in full on what UP culture is, we in the student council and the rest of the student community remains committed to at least share to you a glimpse of what UP culture is, as our culture is vibrant, as it incorporates the fun and creativity of the students, as well as it is shaped by social consciousness geared towards social change by collective action. As our chant says, scholar ng bayan, ngayon ay lumalaban. So we have prepared for you guys a short video or a snippet to showcase to you yung mga student campaigns and activities before the pandemic and even during the remote learning year, as the education paradigm continues to evolve and adapt to our varying needs and circumstances. The systemic ills that beset the education sector and the society in general are still there. So as we redesign our events and our campaigns, there is a constant challenge to maximize our platforms in forwarding the best interest of the students and the people. May through this video, mas better ninyo makilala ang UP at mas better ma-feel ninyo that you are truly part of the UP community as mga scholar ng bayan. So yun po. Thank you. And yun po. Kindly play na lang po. Thank you.
Kalalawdan, ang balud, nag-aaraba. Haigpaw liwat, ang kabawa, nawawara.
Madulong nga kalangitan, nagiiritong nga kadampugan.
Paglasurbuhan hangit, nahain. Pagbarawhan, nasisina, nadagat.
Mapadayon makikigpiso, atuhan ang hulga at panahon, hilikog pa na katilingban. Bisan pa mapusog ang sulok, tatamunan kadena at pagdalong bigos, para handi ang natuna. Ako mag-ios, padayon, padayon, padayon.
Nga pagseserbihan,
Akon naging andam, ang akon sakayan. Habaw-bawhan kadagatan, kaupod ko na madalag. Hiya ang talinga, ang mabatihan kasina. Ang mga huringhan katubigan, ang damguhan ka libutan.
Iya ang akong diin nga makalida, samtang akuan baba nga magyayamba. Ako ang kinungo nga kamon nga hidaan siya. Makadayon makikigpiso, atuhan ang hulga ang panahon, hiligugma na katilingban. Bisan pa mapusog ang sulok, tatamunan kadena pagtalong bigos, para handi ng anratuna. Ako mag-ios, padayon, padayon, padayon.
Ang unang naputad,
pagbuka, hanbaba, hanpagyaw-yaw o paghuliat, hanhulos nga mga pulong,
Ang mga pulong nga magkakalma, magpupoy-poy, han magraog-daog nga balon. Ansyahan na lang pupugos, han kinabuhi nga hayahay.
The fishbowl symbolizes the boundaries that confine our freedom to take actions that reflect our roles as students, as citizens, and as the hope of the nation. The generated result of this act is a wave shaped as a hand holding a traditional balangay with the Philippine flag and the Filipino at its structure, indicating the relevance of these efforts in our attempt to move forward. To complement the movement, the smaller waves surrounding the main figure are headlines of prevalent socio-political issues around the media.
Hapaglaom ka, bubuwason, kita magatin, an kahimyang nga kontrahan duro dilain. Akon lalanguyon, hasta ka tubtuban, kaduyot ang akon ikasi kabataan.
Padayon wakikig biso, aatuhan ang mulga, ang panahon, hinigungan nga kaginimban. Bisan pa mapusuhan sulok, tatanguran kadena ang tagalog bigos, para ang linak ang nagulang. Ako magios, padayon, padayon, padayon. Padayon, padayon, padayon.
Napagseserbihan, napagseserbihan.
Portrayed in this artwork are the collective efforts of the youth and the students in response to the socio-political issues that our country is facing. Although we are confined by limitations, our individual efforts as citizens of this country are equally significant and all-powerful when united into one great wave of change.
Padayon, padayon.
Shoot them dead.
Dahan-dahan sa mundong kinagkagalawan, pagmasdan ang larawan ng itsurang nagmamalakas. Hindi pwedeng mabulag, makinig sa tamang tinig. Wala kang mapapala sa taong walang kahulugan. Huwag hahayaang magkaka sa ibang kawalang sala. Halika na, tuklasin ang mundong puno ng isip hangin. Halika na, tuklasin ang mundong puno ng isip hangin. Bata na bano ka, tukuan, luhaan, nasaktan, sugat, tanang kamay, di alam ang gagawin. Pwede bang magpalaya ka ng mga takot sa iyong isip na pilit dinidikit ng kamatayan? Oh, di ka nag-iisa. Huwag hahayaang magkaka sa ibang kawalang sala. Halika na, tuklasin ang mundong puno ng isip
Kuya, ano bang pangarap mo?
Sa munting palaruan, ang bata ay tumatanda. Natadapa ng mga pa, nananatiling mag-isa. Ang iyong
Pulis. Pangarap kong maging pulis.
Pag numulat ka, kasalanan na ang pumikit.
Huwag hahayaang magkaya sa iba.
Kumukuti-kutitap, bumubusi-busilak, ganyan ang indak ng mga bumbilya. Kikindat-kindat, kukurap-kurap, pinaglalaroan ng iyong mga mata.
Thank you so much to the Student Council. Thank you, Rain, for sharing that. So I hope the students, all our first year students are hyped and are pretty much excited to start this academic year. And again, even though this is a remote learning setup, do not close your doors to such connections within the college. So keep them open and have more friends, even in this remote setup. Now at this point, join us to a virtual campus tour of UP Tacloban.
Tara, dayon kita kay UP Tacloban. For the purpose of this tour, I'll be removing my mask, but always remember to strictly follow health and safety protocols. Yeah, tara na! And right now, we are here at the UP Tacloban campus, and behind me is the iconic UP Oblation statue, which can be found in all UP campuses. National artist for sculpture Napoleon Abueva sculpted the UP Tacloban Oblation. Mano Oble, as he is called by some UP Tacloban students, was inspired by lines from Jose Rizal's Mi Ultimo Adios. Mano Oble represents academic freedom. And for the next stop of our tour, here is the multi-purpose building, or the MPB. So here in the MPB, we hold various school functions and academic activities, from the Freshies orientation during the start of the academic year and the baccalaureate mass for the graduating classes at the end of the academic year. We also hold PE classes, Zumba sessions, and we even watch school plays in this varied venue. And now let's go to our next stop, the Centennial Marker. In 2008, UP celebrated its 100th founding anniversary. And as a way to commemorate this milestone, a centennial marker with Mano Oble as the main feature was installed here just beside the MPB. Many visiting guests and alumni come to this very spot just to take a souvenir snap. Tara! At ayan, sa mga freshies na nanonood ngayon, Tambayan Alert, this is one of the places na pwede nyong puntahan at tambayan when you have free time in the college. So this is one of the gazebos na pwede nyong mahanap, and the other one is at the DM complex. Tara, let's now go to the office of the college secretary. This is the office where it all starts for us UP Tacloban students. Here in the office of the college secretary or the OCS, all of our admission and enrollment credentials are processed. You may also request for your subject enlistment, monitor your scholastic standings, and even ask for your true copy of grades when you require them for other purposes. And now for the next stop of our tour, just beside the office of the college secretary is where we can find the dean's office. So the dean is the highest ranking official of the college and she makes the most important decisions for our school. She is also the head of all administrative and academic units of the college. So for our next stop, I go to one of the most relaxing spots of our college. So when I'm stressed or feeling a bit overwhelmed because of our, the academic pressure that usually everyone feels when they're in college, I welcome you to the Butterfly Garden. So the Butterfly Garden was previously maintained by now retired botany professor Teresa Mahinay of the Division of Natural Sciences and Mathematics. So the Butterfly Garden features a variety of local flora and seasonal birds. So now let's go to the next part of our tour. We will be featuring the only classroom that is open as of the moment here in UP Tacloban. Kaya tara na at let's go! This is one of the classrooms on the second floor of the Arts and Sciences building. Psychology, economics, and political science courses among others are taught here. Expect na pwede mo rin ma-meet ang very first college barkada mo dito as you get to mingle with students from different batches and different courses. And when we go back to face-to-face learning, expect that you'll spend a lot of time in here as you attend your classes. Tara na! And now for the next stop of our tour, I would just like to say kaway-kaway naman dyan sa mga BACA program students because I welcome you to your division, the Division of Humanities. So the Division of Humanities caters to one program, namely the Bachelor of Arts in Communication Arts. So students of the BACA program are automatically members of the UP Ediopraxis organization. And just beside the Division of Humanities, we have the Division of Social Sciences. So the Division of Social Sciences or the DSS caters to three programs, namely the BA in Psychology program, BA in Economics program, and the BA Social Sciences Major in Political Science program. So students of these programs are automatically members of the UP Economic Society, UP Psych Circle, and the UP Politicans. So now let's go to our next stop, the AS Conference Room. If you want to attend a workshop, seminar, or even a film showing, the Arts and Sciences or AS Conference Room will become one of your most visited places here on campus. Many highly informative events where you can meet with visiting guests, professors, and experts usually happen here at the AS Conference Room. So for the next part of our tour, I welcome you to the Division of Natural Sciences and Mathematics. The Division of Natural Sciences or Mathematics, or the DNSM, is the home of the BS Bio and BS Com-Sci students. In these laboratories, you might catch a glimpse of the members of the UP Biological Society running after cats and frogs for their classes. Meanwhile, for the students of the BS Computer Science program or the members of the Interactive Society, you can find them in their computer labs at the other side of the campus na pupuntahan natin mamaya. Very close to the DNSM office is the Natural Museum and Herbarium, which features many preserved specimens collected by biology faculty and students. There are some interesting aquatic creatures, among others, in this collection. And now we are at the SL, or the Student Lounge, where you can just hang around with your friends, play games, or even do your projects on your spare time. However, the SL is open up until 7 p.m. only, so if you want to, extend your stay here for important reasons, then make sure you get an official permit from the college. And we are now at the most versatile classroom there is here in the college, the Pili Tree. So if your course instructor just wants to have, a laid-back lecture or an impromptu recitation with a great outdoor view, the Pili Tree is the place to go to. And it's also a good place na, tumambay at magpahangin because it gives you a great view of the AS grounds. And now for the last stop of our AS complex tour is what we call the AS Tambayan, or the Mushroom. Here in the Mushroom, you can meet with your friends before you go somewhere else to do something together. So this AS Tambayan is also one of the places na pwede nyong tambayan other than the gazebo at the back of the MPB, and the Students' Lounge. So that's it for the first part of our tour of the Arts and Science Complex of UP Tacloban. But that is not yet the end of our tour, as there is still another complex at the other side of the campus na pupuntahan natin. Kaya huwag natin patagalin pa, and let's go to the Division of Management Complex. So now we are here at the Division of Management Complex, and these bulletin boards right here are assigned to different student organizations for them to post publicity materials. But sadly, these boards are bare for now because the pandemic has halted all student organization activities on campus. But we are hoping to see the day that these boards are once again filled with color and nuggets of wisdom. Tara, let's now go to the Health Services Unit. The Health Services Unit is where you go to for all medical and dental concerns, but hopefully you won't have to drop by for anything serious. Health and wellness checkups are highly encouraged, so we'll remain physically fit and clear-minded Iskos and Iskas. And just beside the HSU is where we can find the Office of Student Affairs, or the OSA. The Office of Student Affairs administers all scholarships, provides guidance and counseling services, and supervises all student organizations and co-curricular activities. It aims to ensure that our stay in UP includes a rich and holistic experience of academic and co-curricular activities. And just in front of the HSU and OSA is where we can find the canteen, where you can have lunch with your friends and at times with your professors. And a little bit to our left is where we can find the Office of Anti-Sexual Harassment and Gender Development Program Office. So this is the library building where we will find the computer science laboratories for our Comp Sci students. And at the back of the building is where we can find the humanities laboratory. So ngayon, let's now go upstairs kung nasaan ang ating library. Tara! So here in the library, students come to study, research, do group projects, and perhaps doze off while they are reading. The school library has a UPVTC iLib, or a library system that helps us locate efficiently our books and reading materials. So to all freshies watching this tour, ito yung tinatawag natin na mini forest of UP Tacloban. So here, pwede ka mag-study, matulog, or just enjoy the fresh air that all the trees give in this part of the college. Cue tambayan alert! So for our next stop, here is the latest Samar Heritage Center, or the LSHC. So the LSHC is a research and public service unit that aims to promote the culture and natural heritage of Eastern Visayas. It organizes various forums, workshops, exhibits, and even performance. So the LSHC building also houses the Office of Continuing Education, which runs training workshops in coordination with the different units of the college. Its latest program, the Bati UP Tacloban, is the college's internet-based radio. Tara! And just in front of the latest Samar Heritage Center is where we can find UP Tacloban's dormitories. To my right is the ladies' dormitory, and to my left is the men's dormitory. And as you can observe, in the middle of these two dormitories is a new two-story annex dormitory which was built during the pandemic. So students who are out of town may apply for a space in these three dormitories. Tara! So the Teaching and Learning Resource Center, or TLRC, of UP Tacloban provides computer facilities to students who do not have their own personal computers or access to the internet. It is also a place where you can print your reading materials and reserve a space for group projects. The Regional Environmental Information Systems, or the REIS Laboratory, conducts research and training on the use of geographic information systems and provides spatial data visualization. It is also the home base of the newly recognized UP Tacloban Youth Mappers chapter, which is part of a global network of young leaders aiming to create resilient communities and define their roles by mapping it. So for our next stop, here we are at one of the two conference rooms in the Division of Management complex. So these conference rooms are used as lecture rooms for BS Management and BS Accountancy courses. Tara! So speaking of BS Accountancy and BS Management, I welcome you to their division, the Division of Management. So the Division of Management, or DM as you may simply call it, is the home of all members of the Junior Philippine Institute of Accountants, or the students of the BS Accountancy program, and the members of the Junior People Management Association of the Philippines, or the students of the BS Management program. Tara! So for our last stop, here we are at the Tickling Garden, which features a small pond that attracts birds. Don't forget to drop by when we are all allowed back on campus. But until then, Dayón kita with school, and always remember to strictly follow health and safety protocols. Once again, see you soon mga Isko and Iska.
Yes, thank you to everyone who joined. Thank you to all our participants. And we will be ending this event with our university hymn.